Hello and welcome back to my channel. I took a break. I know I disappeared for a little bit, but to be honest, the Gene Key videos were taking me a whole week to create, and the participation that I was hoping for wasn't there, but that's okay. Lesson learned. Now, for most of you guys, you know that I had a French channel. At first, I did that for a year. I was teaching French on, the side. So I already had the material. I decided to put it on YouTube, so you have about 12 to 14 classes for free for if you want to learn French. It's there for you to learn, for your pleasure. Then I made a second channel about the gene keys because I didn't want to speak French forever, to be honest. So I told myself, if I want to talk about something, I have to be able to talk about something where I'm just never going to run out of inspiration. So spirituality and gene keys was the topic that I picked. I can talk about the gene keys forever. I can read it forever. It's material that every time I read it, there's something new. So it just never gets boring to me. So like I told my mom, at the time, if I'm going to make videos, I want to make videos that I would watch. So Gene Key was definitely one of them. But as you can see, it's a very niche market and it didn't really catch on for the amount of time that I invested in. So now it's time for number 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my original Gene Key channel because I do love the work that I put into it. And as you can see from the Gene Key videos, I started off coming out of inertia, and towards the end of the Gene Key videos that I made, I started looking really good, vibrant. I was full of energy. That's why I was making those videos regardless of running out of resources. The synchronicities were crazy, as if they were coming out of the clock and slapping me in the face kind of thing, like crazy to that level. And other synchronicities too, other symbolic, it's not just clockwise. So synchronicities were incredible and I was feeling better and better. So these are reasons why you should continue something. Now, if you run out of resources or you need a little recalibration, that's okay. As long as you continue on your path. You can take a break if, you're not inspired anymore or you're just depleted. You take a break and then you come back when you're ready. So in my case, I decided to talk about content that I'm going to create myself. So coming from mainstream, I'm from a mainstream background. I worked in the corporate industry for 20 years. Last gig was at SpaceX. The gigs before that, it was Fortune 500 companies downtown LA or in Orange County. Before that, international. So as you can see, I worked a lot. So Instagram was not, or YouTube was not something I practiced a lot. So throughout the years, I'm getting better, since 2020. 2021 is when I started getting into the social media world and into the YouTube world. So it's normal that it's going to take me a few trials and error. But when you're finally ready to talk about content that you want to create and that you're ready to create, then it's your time. You need the energetic push to create content. And this is one thing that they don't tell you. When your chakras are blocked because you're depleted from work, from family, from life, from whatever, right? From 20 years of working and hustling in the mainstream world and doing great at it too, I was depleted. So when you're depleted, you can read a book. You can talk about material that already exists. You can basically hop on that wave. It's hard to be depleted and suddenly create content and be a everyday content creator. You need that energetic push. If you don't have it, you're going to fizzle out, you're going to run out of ideas, you're not going to want to create videos anymore, and you're going to give up. So to the people that are creating content and are lacking inspiration, or they're just tired, take a break. Trust me when I tell you, take a break. And this is why I love the Gene Keys as my own personal life coach and my higher self. Because you can have influencers come on social media or on YouTube and be like, get off your butt. Stop being lazy. Discipline's everything. Consistency is everything. You can't beat it into somebody. Just like a rose that wants to bloom, the rose will bloom whenever it's ready to bloom. You can't force the rose and be like, hey, you gotta bloom right now. Bloom! Here's more water. Bloom! It doesn't work. The rose will bloom whenever it's ready to bloom. So that's why if you have somebody on your behind and trying to push you to do something that you're not willing to do or you're just not ready, don't feel discouraged. It's just not your time. The city hasn't randomly popped itself open, right? Some cities, it's just random. They'll bloom whenever they want to bloom. There's nothing for you to do. It'll just happen in its own time. So trial and error until you get it right. If you don't get it right overnight, don't think because you're not disciplined or you're not consistent or you're not, right? It's not that you're not. It's just not your time. So I used to have a lot of fake plants inside my house because in the beginning, I didn't know how to take care of plants. So when I first started buying real plants, I would water them a lot. I'd be like, well, they're looking great. Let me just add more water. And if you ever do that, if you know, are a plant connoisseur, if you ever do that, you'll drown your plant. Not only that you're not giving it more water, you're not hydrating it more, you're literally killing it. So if you water a plant too many times, it'll fall. Like it'll literally bend on itself and fall because the water will take over the body, it'll be heavy, and then the plant can't hold itself up anymore. That's why you need the few days of dryness before you water again. So a lot of people don't know that, like me, and then I would just water constantly until I would drown them. I'm like, okay, well, I'm killing my plants. Yes, because you're putting pressure on them. You're trying to tell them to grow when they can't grow at that pace. So humans are the same thing. We're the same thing, and we have to be less hard on each other for not hitting the milestone whenever we think we should hit it. So another example, right? When you're in a car and you want to do a U-turn, the smaller the car, the faster the U-turn, right? If you're driving an 18-wheeler, you're going to need space. Our energy as human beings, we're not like cars and we're not like 18-wheelers. We're more like airplanes. So if you ever want to Yui an airplane, the circle you're going to have to take might go over an entire city for you to be able to circle and not just to fall on your path, but just to circle towards the right direction. So that's going to take a long Yui. So the way I see it is I started turning at the first channel. Then in the middle, I was like, all right, I need adjustment. And then on the third channel, I'm more towards the circle, going back towards the right direction. So again, don't be discouraged if it doesn't happen overnight.